What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today. Yes, we are back again for another round of AOR Oceania for season number 4 in the F1 tier. We're here, as you can see on screen, at the Belgium Grand Prix. You can tell from the previous photo there from the results from last season. Here's the current standings, a 20-point advantage between V-Fans and Big Chungus. You can check out where your favourite drivers are. We're currently P14 on a solitary 3 points. Ferrari have got a 22-point margin over Sauber, and Toro Rosso still down in position number 9. We still haven't made any inroads, and McLaren still on their singular points. Now, if you haven't checked out, obviously, first off, if you haven't checked out the previous video around Germany, where, to be honest, was a complete and utter shocker, really. From all the issues that we had. I mean, spoiler alert now, if you haven't, I'd urge you to pause the video and go check the other one now before I give the spoilers away. But to say we had a few issues along the way was quite an understatement. Between all the lobby issues that we had, then of course from me, from having my gaming audio issues, which, yeah, to this day I still don't know what the hell happened. But anyway, we sort of continue on for that. It's all working fine here at Belgium, so yeah, we'll just carry on for it as we get a little bit of a slipstream there from deth, who we let go back past through. We let through earlier on our lap, but as we come through turn 9, just run a little bit too wide, actually invalidating the lap time, which, I mean, I was a little bit surprised at the time to get an validation like that. I mean, yeah, I can totally understand it for, yeah, obviously on the if you cut the corner a little bit, but on the exit curve, I was a bit surprised at that one. But anyway, I sort of carried on a little bit to get a bit of a banker lap time in to see what it was going to be like. I mean, it's not the greatest of lap times, to be honest. It's a 43.860, but. I mean, it was something at least for me to have, as we nearly lose it coming up Rouge Radion. That was one hell of a save, I can tell you.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
That was sort of the key then. I thought, yeah, no, I'm not going to continue on for another lap of this anyway, so I decided to box at the end of this lap and to make matters worse, invalidate the lap time coming up the exit of the corner with no name. So looking good at the moment so far. Actually, I probably should say it now, should I really? Qualifying will be an absolute complete shocker, really, from me. I mean, I don't know exactly what it is about this track, but I think mainly whether it's invalidating the lap times or especially that bit up Rouge Radion, it's just not ideal at the moment. There's the current times.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 43.8.
So championship leader V-Fans still is currently leading the way at the current moment, ahead of H-Show in position 2. Obviously, there's a few guys still haven't set their lap times, including myself and New Zealand Ryan. We've probably both invalidated our lap times here. I'm not sure exactly what strategy Ryan is going to go for here, considering came in the last round as we let fans go through there, as I think he was on a fire lap at the time. But anyway, we continue on with lap number 2 here. You can see here a little bit sideways coming through Les Combes there. It was a much better run actually coming through. Final bit of Les Combes there, but now coming into turn 10 through Bruxelles. I'm trying to get on the power here. Just trying to use that exit curve, but I used too much of it actually and get my lap time invalidated again. So, like I was saying before, things are not going too swimmingly at the moment. I think you saw that Calvo's now in the qualifying session. There he is. So,
2 laps of fuel remaining.
You can easily lose it coming through Pouon there, especially because it's a tricky corner. I mean, if you take the curve coming through there, it's quite easy to do it. As I nearly lose the car coming out of Stavolo there, out of exit of turn 15 there. But I continued on actually to make for another lap, actually, just try and get a banker lap time. But again, I cut the corner coming through turn number 8. But yeah, now it's definitely this lap time sort of in the bin a little bit here as we come through Pouon. And again, nearly losing the back end. That was definitely my fault. They're running wide there anyway, but I knew instantly from that I had to come back in because, I mean, there's only 3 minutes 13 left on the clock here, and really there's not much time here to get a lap time done around here. So you use pretty much the final set of Super Soft tyres, take literally every single bit of fuel out that I could takeout just to make sure of it anyway. But yeah, at the moment, things are not looking bleak at the moment. Anyway, my teammate's doing pretty well. Plinio Montero in
So
position
far,
9.
our fastest lap is a 1:43.8. Checks complete. We're ready.
But yeah, I kept it as late as I possibly could, just to have pretty much a one-lap dash here, as I think pretty much everybody else is about to come out now to do their final lap with about 2 minutes left in the session. So if we get around quickly, I think we've got about like 20-odd seconds left, right on cue, like I said. So coming around the final quarter, start of lap time here, the bus stop chicane. Had to give a little bit of room there to the car in front of him. Can't work out which one of the Williams cars it is, but it's either Deth Bro or is that Matt. But anyway, we'll stick a board here coming down to turn 1. Just missed the apex there a little bit there, because that was a tricky braking corner there. But anyway, come down one of the old pit straights here, now coming up into Oceania Radio, which caused me trouble earlier on as we just lose the rear end. And narrowly, actually, I was actually surprised that my car was still in pieces. No, it was actually not in pieces, I should say, out of all that. But yeah, I mean, after that, after I pretty much let everybody through, I was just utterly furious at myself at that one, because could have quite easily got myself maybe in the top 10. Not sure exactly where I would have plonked myself anyway, but hey ho, we'll have to continue on here. So it's pretty much dead last where we're going to be starting from without even setting a lap time. But Fans does take pole with a 1 minute 41.119, just ahead of H-Show there in third. Rain doing a good job in P3. Got New Zealand Ryan there. Only guy on the soft tyres in the top 10, and my teammate actually qualifies in the top 10 as well, so great job for him. But it's time to go racing here for the Belgian Grand Prix. Alrighty, welcome to the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, race strategy-wise, because we're starting dead last, obviously we can choose whatever tyre compounds we want, basically. So the strategy says is a one-stop softs to mediums, but I wanted to try something a little bit different here. Now, going back to last season's race, I think there was only one guy that did the softs to the super soft strategy, which I think was actually the championship leader, a V-Fence. So I'm going to actually see if this strategy will actually work, as we just about to set off now for the formation lap.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
Thank you, Jeffrey. So pretty much just bringing up the rear of the field here. But yeah, like I was saying, let's see how long we can take these set of soft tyres in this Grand Prix, and maybe trying to get on later on in the Grand Prix to a set of super soft tyres. But if I did have a backup plan, or sort of like plan B, like what most teams have anyway, but if the tyre wear was sort of too great on these set of soft tyres, then I would instantly go back to the original one, which was going to be softs to medium. So it's a case of wait and see here. But at this point in time, I was just pretty glad. Well, I mean, we're starting 14th. I was just pretty glad to just maybe get in the top 10 and grab some points out of all this, because it's been a long while between tricks. Here we go. We're all set for round number 7. 5 red lights. Let's do it around Spa-Francorchamps as Cowboy doesn't get away well there, but it looks at things, or maybe just staying out of trouble there going to turn 1. Have a look up the inside of Conrad into turn 1 as Berserk looks like he's just grabbed the wall there going into turn 1 there. We've got V-Fence's footage to the pole sitter at the top right of screen as well. It looks like he's got a pretty decent start going up through Rouge and Radion. Might come under a little bit of attack from H coming onto the Camel Straight here. Just we're sort of biding our time here, not trying to do anything silly here, just waiting and seeing what everybody's doing up ahead here, as it looks like Berserk's looking up here around the outside of Conrad, who's X-ing a little bit there, and Berserk goes way off the track there. May have got a little bit of a track extension there. He's running a little bit wide there, so we might have a look up here
That's a good start.
into turn 10. As he tries to go around the outside here of Conrad, who's lagging quite a little bit here for me. I'm not sure exactly whether he was lagging for anybody else, or between lagging red Xing on anybody else's screens. But yeah, we avoided all of that one, and we're still into P13 as we run a very wide coming through Puan there. And we pretty much lost all the margin that we had back behind Berserk there. But anyway, hey-ho, it's only lap 1. Obviously, it's quite a long circuit. It's only 22 laps of this joint. So we run into the gravel there coming out of turn 14 there. Now coming towards the end of lap 1. Nearly getting close to the back end there of Berserk. And I was probably a little bit worried that I'd probably tag him up the rear end there. But anyway, we've survived lap number 1 anyway. So anyway, we'll move on to lap number 2. There's we get our first track this morning there. Running a little bit wide there, the exit of turn 9. Was doing that quite a bit actually throughout this whole race. Just don't know what it is. Maybe there's something to do with the setup here, but running a little bit wide going through turn 16 there. But yeah, all was pretty quiet at the moment as we have a little bit of a moment there coming up Eau Rouge Rally on. But we will get a DRS if we get lap number 3, which obviously means DRS is enabled on the Berserk here, Master Berserk, but not quite close enough here as my teammate looks like he's really struggling here on his set of super soft tyres here. So just going to bide our time here a little bit here and hopefully try and find a passing spot. There's many passing spots around here that you can try and do, but didn't want to risk anything here. Long race, obviously. Soft tyres can definitely go quite a lot longer than super soft tyres. I think super softs probably can go 3. Probably earliest you can come in, maybe lap 3. Longest we can go for maybe lap 5 to 6. If you get it a bit longer, then good on you for doing that. But anyway, see my teammate obviously really struggling here through these through campus and into Stavilo here. So, but I was sort of lining up the move here, coming around this final. Well, we're not a couple of corners here, but around turn 16, and now up into Blanchimont here. Going to go around the long way round here. Probably not the ideal way to get past here, but we come through Blanchimont now. We will easily get past the teammate there. I don't think it really puts up much of a fight there. So we're now up into position number 12. Just making it into the corner there, and obviously you'll continue on running a little bit wide there. Probably a little bit to do with a bit of understeer there, but anyway.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds.
Now just going to try and chase after these guys ahead, but Master Berserk still pushing on ahead. We're pretty much, I think it's on similar strategies anyway. Well, except for me, obviously I'm trying softs to super softs earlier on. But there's yellow flag actually ahead here, but looks like it's a Haas car here that's going really slow here. Now it's actually Rain who's going real slow here, and he's got no front wing. So it looks like he may have had a moment.
You made it look easy.
Well, I made it look easy because he obviously looks like he's crashed out. So but he's lost his front wing. So well, it was looking pretty decent start for Rain has pretty much turned pear-shaped. He's going to have to do nearly a full lap without a front wing, which is a bit of a real shame there when you consider he qualified up in P3. Now, towards the end of lap number 4 here is where you're going to finally go around the inside here through Blanchimont here on Conrad Straight here. I think this is probably the point where the super soft tyres really starting to die up here. This is a little bit of a battle group going on here with obviously Master Berserk. You got I think that is that Matt there in the Williams and Prez in the Red Bull. There's yellow flags behind. Looks like a Calbo. Obviously, like Jeff said, we're in the top 10. There's a Conrad has a little bit of a look up the inside there, and it did scare me off a little bit.
2.3 seconds.
It did scare me off a little bit there because obviously I wasn't expecting that from Conrad, to be honest. But I was expecting his obviously super soft tyres to die off here. I had no choice really but to cut that corner.
Corners. We don't want to get a penalty.
It was just no choice there. I mean, it was either that or end up in the wall, which obviously I did not want to end up in the wall anyway. But these guys are obviously still trying to battle away here. As it looks like the lead pack has started to pull away as well. If you consider last season as well in around Belgium, as my teammates now actually out of the Grand Prix, so may have actually had a bit of a moment there through the late com section. Probably the tyre wall will have been awaiting him, so ideal stuff for teammate. There's Berserk, looks like he's trying to look around the inside, outside for around that Williams of is that Matt. That when you consider the last season, like I was saying, that it was like literally a battle for like the top 5 in that race, which of course Greek, Ryan, I think who else was there? Fens, Jared, obviously, and there's quite a few others as well. But now we're really starting to close in here towards the end of the lap. As Berserk looks like he's trying to go around the outside. There's contact between he and Matt going through before blocks him on there. We're going to take 2 spots out of all of that. So I was just pretty much thanking my lucky stars that I didn't get caught up in all of that, which I was pretty thankful about anyway. But now at the end of lap 5, Prez is now coming into the pit lane. I think this is the start of the pit stop phase, which you can see the leaders.
0.5 seconds.
The leaders have now started to come in. Thank you, Jeff. By the way, HO and V fans have kind of pulled into the pit stop. Well, their one and only stop on straight onto the medium tyres. So obviously we're sticking in and out here for obviously quite a long period as we slided up Rouge and Ratty on there. But I think there's probably a couple of others.
Gap to car in front is 4.0 seconds. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap. They're on old super softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 48.7.
Just getting an update there on Death Pro, who I think is one of the guys that's still sticking it out there on the super soft tyres. I think there's probably another couple of guys as well. We run very wide coming through Bruxelles there. We're obviously trying to hold off Mars Berserk, who we got past thanks to that little bit of a crash there. I think he said afterwards in the group chat that it was actually a bit of a lag touch there as we slide it through P1, and that would have been a hard stopping moment there for Berserk, that's for sure. But we do lose that spot and we have to claw our way back here. We're now back into position number 6 here, obviously trying to chase after Berserk here again. But yeah, other than that, the car felt pretty decent. Pace was pretty decent as well, so not all too bad at this stage. So begin lap number 7 as we got Death Bro, Top Banter, and I think Laggy, the guys that have come in for their one and only stop. So they've gone a lap longer than the lead guys, but of course they'll come out in a bit of fresh air, I think, later behind both V-Fans and HO who have been leading the race. So basically, it's the top 3 that have yet to pit, which of course includes myself, Berserk and Ryan. So anyway, we'll jump up back to the start. Here's a replay from Top Banter in the Force India. So is he doing, taking a nice course here. Death Bro trying to go there in the long way. It's a little bit of contact there with Rain. He could have easily got past Laggy Person, I think, going into coming up into Eau Rouge, I should say, but has to settle back in behind, and Top Banter obviously settles back in behind New Zealand Ryan there, as you can see. But here comes that other Williams, of is that Matt. You can see usually on lap 1 you're pretty much all in the defending mode position here. It's Tommy B's using every single bit of defensive mode there to try and keep Matt behind as much as he can, and he manages to do so. So he holds onto that P7 position for now. But this was actually before the pit stop phase, I think. As he saw there, I think Calvo was out of the Grand Prix. So this is Tommy B getting by Death Bro up in position 5, going up the Camel Straight there, and obviously he'll chase after that laggy person in position 4. But here's that replay from earlier on. We're going to slow it down here between Berserk and Matt. Now you can see here, looks by the looks of things, that Berserk does get into the back of Matt there, and that was a very lucky call, I've got to say. But like I said, I think Berserk maybe put his hand up there a little bit there and said that it was probably a bit of a lag touch there. So a great credit to Berserk for putting his hand up on that one. But that could have ended up being ugly if we got caught up in that one. But there's Fens, but that was his pit stop there. So obviously HO is in behind as well, and comes out with plenty of fresh air. I think the same can be said for HO. There's Toppy B getting a little bit sideways coming through the bus stop chicane there, as he makes his way into the pit lane and just manages to get a stop. Same can be said for Death Bro. And obviously, like I said, Laggy was the other one that came into pits. So it's interesting to see the battle of the pit crews here on the medium tyres. He manages to keep ahead of Death Bro here, but Laggy manages to keep ahead of, well, both of them basically. But where do they feed out here? If they got a bit of fresh air coming out of the pits, I think they will, yes. So they come out with plenty of fresh air here. But yeah, back to our point of view as we ran. That was a silly error from me, really, coming through that was turn 18 there. was just running a little bit wide there, and yeah, that was definitely my fault here. But we're still pushing on here. As we set another personal best lap time here. We're really starting to get used to the bit of the pace here around Belgium, as Berserk has a little bit of a slide going into turn number 1 there. But I mean, at this point in the race, I really wanted to get back past Master Berserk here on lap number 8 here. He's got it in his DRS train, but I sort of thought better of it. I thought I don't really want to do any rash moves here before the pit stop phase, but just really just going to bide our time here. And
a new strategy is available on the MFD.
we're already getting in obviously a new strategy call, which obviously telling me to go onto the medium tyres. But yeah, I mean the tyre wear wasn't too bad, I felt, but was a lot more than I initially expected it here. But so we're getting a little bit sideways, saving himself from Berserk. But lap 9, we're getting this message from Jeff.
Okay, tyre situation bad. Consensus around the garage is they're not looking great, and I don't think you're going to get understood stopping this lap.
So that was the point where I had to completely and utterly abandon that idea of going straight onto the super soft tyres. So I'm pretty much going to come in at the end of this lap, and same can be said for Master Berserk, and I think New Zealand Ryan's also coming as well. So basically we're the last 3 to make our pit stops. Ryan's already been in and out onto his medium tyres, but yeah, a little bit of a battle between the pit crews here, but of course it's a little bit different on online compared to career mode. Wish it probably had some certain crews that would be a bit quicker than others, but anyway, Berserk obviously manages to stay ahead of us here. But where do we pop out in all this?
See these tyres through to the end now.
Here as we come out just behind Prez, who's obviously on much warmer medium tyres. Actually, Prez has been on those tyres for well, I think at the end of lap 4 or 5, I think, as we get another track extension warning there.
They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 4 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:47.2.
There we go, that was the update I was getting about Prez. So he's been on those tyres for about 4 laps, and he's already trying to put pressure here on Master Berserk, who's obviously on much stone cold fresh tyres here. But as we cut onto lap 11 now, you can see that Berserk is actually starting to pull away here, so we get another time penalty there. Again, that was just the basic, had to basically cut that corner, and no other choice really.
Gap to the car behind
very wide here.
0.0
You can see I was really trying to push on here and try and catch up to Prez. So we run very wide coming through the Bruxelles curve there at turn 10 and into obviously the corner with no name, because I'm mainly pushing on because obviously Berserk looked like he had quite a lot more pace at this stage compared to me, so I didn't really want to be held up behind Prez for too long, so we started pushing a little bit more here as we're starting to begin lap 12. I actually set the fastest final sector there, to my astonishment there, because I wasn't really expecting that this early stage anyway. But shows you we've got a little bit of decent pace by the looks of things in that sector 3 there. Probably more straight line speed than anything else, but just playing the cautious game here. Now we're getting into the DRS zone of Prez, but we're just not quite close enough here at this stage. But coming towards the end of lap number 12 here, we're really starting to close in here on Prez, who at this point he didn't seem to have a lot of pace. I was a bit puzzled as to why that was. I wasn't really expecting him to be this far down, well, maybe this down far down the grid, but I was expecting him to have maybe a little bit more pace on the medium tyres. But you see we're really starting to put the pressure on him here as he's going to cover the inside line here at the bus stop chicane. We're going to try go the long way around here as we'll actually get the pass done, because he's actually coming into the pits, and I was probably a little bit surprised about that one who was coming into the pits.
First place is 21.4 seconds.
Like I said, I would have thought those medium tyres would easily take you to the end of the race, but we obviously set another personal best lap time, but now we're up into position 8, which to be honest wasn't too bad at this late stage of the race. Obviously still a fair way to go here, and there's obviously still a few guys maybe to catch up later on. Get an update.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.1 seconds. You're losing around 3/10 a lap. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:46.4. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
And obviously that doesn't bode well for me, because like I said earlier, Master Berserk's got a bit more pace than me, and he's got less time penalties at this stage of the race. Still a long way to go, but we'll get an update on Rain behind.
Our gap behind is 6.0 seconds. We're losing about 5 seconds a lap. This pace is far too slow. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:46.2.
And he's got 0 penalties, but I was sort of a little bit worried about Rain behind. I know he's on the much quicker soft tyres, but I sort of had in the back of my mind that he had to pit again. There was probably no way that he could get to the end on this set of soft tyres, so you can pretty much see there on to lap 15, because pretty much nothing happened at this stage of the race anyway. So you see Rain is now pulled into the pit, so we've got a much bigger gap now compared to what it was before. But coming to the end of this lap 15, this is what I really wanted to see, actually, because you can see obviously Death Bro, it came in well and truly a lot more earlier than both myself and Berserk.
Is 24.4 seconds.
As we said, another personal best lap time actually, but I was actually hoping that these guys would actually fight it out quite a bit here so we could catch up.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.2 seconds. We're gaining by around 0.2 per lap. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:49.3. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
And again, that doesn't bode well for me because he's got less time penalties as well. But you can see they're still finding a way here. And I think Death Bro's actually got back ahead of Master Berserk. Berserk's going around the long way around here into turn number 9. He actually manages to do so here. But obviously he's been on those tyres for about 9 odd laps, so we got a little bit much fresher rubber here. So let's see if we can try and get a nice run out the inside. Oh, I tell you what, that was a big heart and mouth moment that one was, because I mean, I was trying to get a decent run here, and I mean, if I probably continued on and maybe not ended up in the wall there, I probably may have had a little bit of a chance going on to the back straight, going through Blanchimon and whatnot. But here's a replay of it. Just coming through, obviously, the corner with no name. Just all of a sudden, just lost the rear end there. And it was thankfully, I kept it in a, straight faction there, you could say there, and managed to avoid getting no damage at all whatsoever. But this is Vans who nearly bottles it. Yeah, it's like this is on lap 16, actually. So you can see, look at the amount of wheel work that he's had to do to save that one. So he's obviously trying to hold off New Zealand Ryan, who's obviously benefited well out of that pit stop, so he's in the second place. And Death Bro's actually got a 5-second stop-go penalty for, looks like, a bit of a cut to the corner there. Now, at that point, I didn't have any idea that had actually happened at all. It's only when I realised I checked it later on after when I checked all the footage anyway, because we had a little bit of a touch up there with the wall there. Through the corner with no name, that I realised that there's Toppy B has also got a time penalty, stop-go penalty, a 5-second time penalty, I should say, for cutting the same corner as well.
We expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
So lap 19, just trying to recover time here.
Okay, the gap behind is 14.1 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 4 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:45.0. They have a time penalty of 3.0.
Again, just being ever so cautious about Rain, because even though it was about a 14-second gap, I was just a bit curious. But the big gap behind, we should be fine.
In front is 3.9 seconds.
See, we're really pushing it here on that through turn 16.
31.6 seconds.
But really, yeah, just trying to recover as much ground as we could here, as we now get past the lap car of Conrad, who's not had the greatest of races by the looks of things. I think he actually may have crashed up here going through Eau Rouge and Radion, so what an idea. We'll get another update on Death. Yeah.
Okay, gap ahead is 2.8 seconds. You're falling back by around 1.2 seconds a lap. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 13 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:48.6. They have a time penalty of 6.0.
Now, obviously it was still a possibility, because obviously now we're equal on penalties-wise by the looks of things, as Toppy B gets another 5-second stop-go penalty, as
this is fucking bullshit.
yeah, it's fucking bullshit. You can tell that was an interesting bit of a graphic there from Tommy B, but that was from his video, not mine. So anyway, you see here we're just really giving it our absolute all here.
There's only one
So we're
lap
about to
fuel
begin
remaining.
the final lap
This is
of
your
the
final
Grand
lap,
Prix.
final lap of the race.
So it's only about 2.1 seconds between ourselves and Death Bro. I think we've well and truly covered the gap behind to Rain, as you can see there. It's quite astronomical there. It was over 10 seconds anyway, but coming through Rouge Radion there, I originally thought, as cutting that corner there, I actually thought that was probably going to be the third penalty there, but thankfully I've just still got another warning left, so managed to like keep myself going there and just hopeful that I don't get another corner cut. That was pretty much my goal, just to make sure I didn't get any other corner cuts or any other penalties in this race, just in case something would happen. Because I mean, at this point, I was pretty happy to like settle for 8th position here. I mean, there's a fairly decent recovery considering we had a shocking qualifying there. But yellow flag's actually ahead. It looks like it's one of the Force Indias, which means there's only one of them, which would assume it has to be Top Banter. Maybe had a little bit of spin on the final lap here. We'll cut to the race leader here, who's just about to cross the line here and take another victory, maybe another step closer to the Season 4 Championship. Pens takes the race victory.
Gap to the car in front is 2.2 seconds.
Here at Spa Francorchamps here as well. We'll get another update here. You'll probably be able to read it through the subtitles actually. But yeah, I was pretty happy. Good recovery coming through up into T8 up and through from position 14 in
Good work. They're on old mediums.
through the grid. Anyway, we got as close as we could. As we come across the line, we're going to come across the line in P8, but
9.0.
yeah, you see there, at this point in time, I was completely, utterly bewildered. It's like, I thought, no, surely not. Have I just finished position 5 in this race, thanks to penalties? I'm ahead of Death Bro, ahead of Master Berserk, and ahead of Top Banter. I'm like, no, surely not. Either I'm blind or something, but I thought at that point, there's no way in hell I would have finished P5, but it says it there, and this is what happened to Top Banter, who got on the curb. Yes, he'll definitely be right back there, and thankfully he managed to save the car and only lost the 1 position out of all of that. Could have been easily a lot more worse than what occurred there, but he'll be very thankful for that one. But anyway, there's the podium. So obviously fans who are winning the Grand Prix and obviously taking another step, because I think I probably haven't mentioned this, Big Chungus, or Warden as he's better known as, is probably not taking part for the rest of the season. So at this point, Fens is probably maybe a shoe-in for the championship, but I mean, it's only still a couple of rounds left in the season, so a long way to go here. But there you go. So obviously, like I said, Fens, Ryan, Ho finished on the podium, Laggy in 4th. We do finish up in position number 5, as I'll explain later on what's happened a bit later on. Top Banter in 6th ahead of Berserk. Death Bro in 8th. Rain, great recovery in P9. And Matt rounding out the top 10, because I think Prez actually gave him the spot there on the final lap, as you saw. Yeah, Prez in 11th. Conrad 12th, and 2 DNFs with my teammate and obviously Calbo. Now, afterwards, Top Banter took both his 5-second stop-go penalties to the stewards, which got removed or got downgraded to only warnings. But of course, he'd already had 4 warnings that previously, as we have a look at the championship standings there, which Fens has now extended his gap now to, it's not quite, it's been 39 points, I think it is, over Ho. I've still got Big Chungus there in position 3, out ahead of Alan Hugo. You got Laggy, Death Bro, New Zealand Ryan, Top Banter, Master Berserk, and Rain there in position 10. But obviously with that result, even though, like I said, I'll finish explaining to you a bit later, we move up into P11 actually on 11 points. Ahead of Is That Matt there in 12th. Then you got R8, Prez, RBR, Conrad, Kaiwas, Plinia Montero, and Calbo, the only guys yet to score points. Ferrari have still got a 9-point advantage over Sauber in the Constructors' Championship, so that could play a little bit of factor with the later stages of the the final couple of races, I should say. Ahead of Force India and Mercedes. And he got Haas there and Williams. With that result, obviously, Toro Rosso jumped up into 7th position ahead of Red Bull, ahead of Renault as well, and McLaren still on that singular point. Now, like I said, Top Banner took his 2 5-second stop-go penalties to get them removed, which he did get them downgraded to warnings, but he'd already had 4 previous, he got obviously 1 penalty already, plus another warning, so add another 2 warnings, you get another time penalty. So he got his penalty reduced to 6 seconds worth of penalties, which, I mean, I sort of was expecting it, to be honest, but, yeah, I mean, we'll take position 6. I think it's pretty much been equal best result, actually, in the F1 tier of AOR Oceania. So, yeah, overall, not too bad there. So, yeah, pretty happy with that, to be honest, because, like I said, coming from P14 up into position number 6 in the end. But, yeah, I'll probably maybe leave this one afterwards. But after the race, I actually got a message from LCR Leopard, who obviously I'm great mates with, considering I co-commentator with him in TR Pacific. And he was probably as shocked as I was that I just got position 5 in that race, but obviously got demoted to P6 afterwards. But, yeah, even I was replying afterwards there, yeah, I did. I'm still I was like in complete utter shock there, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll take it. So we'll move on. If you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. As always, you can leave your comments down below. Subscribe to my channel for plenty more AOR Oceania content on F1 2018, plus plenty more video gaming content as well. As always, all my social media links will be down in the description, plus the links to the AOR website and the YouTube channel. You can check out all the live streams from here in Oceania, and also the European leagues and the Americas leagues as well. But, yeah, until the next one, which will be the Italian Grand Prix, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.